everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany. This is the Brittany Reacts Show. And on this show we talk all things entertainment news and movie news. Today it is New Year's, so happy New Year's everyone. Thank you for showing up today on a holiday. I really appreciate it. I'm so sorry that my neighbors decided to do some construction work right at 4, so I apologize if you hear anything outside. Just bad timing, I guess. But today we are going to go over the 2024 movie release schedule. So there's actually not a lot of like really big movies that I'm super looking forward to. I will tell you at the very end of the stream my top 10 most anticipated out of all of the movies that we go over. But I'm going to tell you, just looking at the movies coming up this year, I think it's not going to be a great year for movies. I think there's going to be a lot of kind of hit and misses, but mostly misses, kind of like how 2023 was. We're going to talk about it. We're going to go through all of the movies in order of release date, and then we're going to play a little game of where we're going to try to predict which movie's going to be a hit, which movie's going to be a flop, which movie's going to be like a modest hit, an underperformer. So it's going to be a fun stream. I'm really looking forward to this one. How are you guys doing today? Hi, the Blue Gecko Nerd. Hi, Scorpio Shadow. Hi, Brandon. Hi, Mauricio. Hi, Husa. Hi, Variety Vlogs. Hi, Super Crit. Hi, Natanya. Hi, Anna Bear. Hi, Kitty Cat. Hi, the Cover Girl. Hi, Sakari. Hi, Jamin. And thank you to each and every one of you who comes to the show every day. I deeply appreciate it. Do you guys hear the nonsense that's going on outside? I swear my neighbors are testing me on purpose. It's like they were like, all right, when does Brittany's show start? Let's start sawing down pieces of wood very loudly, exactly at 4. They do this to me every time. I don't know why. If it starts getting too loud, please let me know. I might try to adjust somehow. But anyway, what are you guys looking forward to this year? I do have a member question at the end, but I do want to know your guys' thoughts on just generally 2024. Like, are you guys looking forward to a lot of movies this year, or do you agree with me that this year kind of looks a little dead? What are your guys' thoughts? Scorpio Shadow says 2024 is yet another failure for movies. Yeah, I mean, when I'm looking, we'll go through the list, but it really looks like it's mostly just a lot of sequels and reboots to movies that I don't think anyone was really asking for more from. I don't know. I think it's going to be a bad year. Edgerman says, thanks so much, Strike, for not putting that much movies in my exam year. Well, I mean, even the movies we do have, like a lot of them to me just are not, I'm just not very excited for them. But you guys might feel differently. Okay, Husa, you guys don't hear the noise? That's great. It just sounds loud to me. Nagisa says, hi, I'm mostly excited for anime this year because there's a lot of good anime coming out compared to movies and TV shows. Maybe the 2024 will be the year I'll finally get into anime. I don't know. Okay, Natanya agrees with me. Rachel also thinks it looks underwhelming. Anna Bear, yeah. Well, I mean, let's get into it. Maybe you guys will see some movies here that you're like, oh, you know what? Maybe 2024 will be a good year. But I don't know. I think it's looking like a pretty bad year, but let's get into it. So, starting off the top, I found a nice handy website. So thank you, IGN. I'm going to take this because they have it nice laid out for me. So we're just going to go through this article here. So the first movie that comes out is actually on January 5th. So very soon. That's this weekend. We have Night Swim. This is another Jason Blum horror movie. I haven't really heard of it, but I know his movies are typically very cheap and actually do very well. So this movie might be a small hit. It doesn't really need to make much money to actually be a hit, but hey, another horror movie from Jason Blum coming. I know I have some Jason Blum fans in my audience, so anyone looking forward to this Night Swim movie? Apparently, it's about a little kid who has to deal with her fears. It says, when I was a little kid, I was afraid to go in the pool after an ill-advised attempt viewing of Jaws. That fear lasted for a long time, so no one can imagine how folks are going to be with the latest team up between James Wan and Jason Blum. Oh, I didn't know James Wan was also attached to this. Interesting. It's about a haunted swimming pool? I don't know. Anyone want to see something about a haunted swimming pool from Jason Blum? Okay, Rachel, never heard of it, but you like Jason Blum, so you'll try it. Rachel says, we will get you into horror. Maybe, I don't know. You guys know I don't really watch horror movies. Jocelyn says, I think there will be a handful of hit/good films, but the majority will be underwhelming and blend together. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think we'll have another phenomenon this year that was like Barbenheimer. I just don't see it on the horizon. In fact, you'll see once we get through all of these films, but I actually don't know if we'll even get $1 billion film this year. I actually think there's a very real possibility we might not even get one. But moving on, the next movie I think actually has some chance of being at least a minor hit, and that's the new Mean Girls movie. Now, I did do a review of the trailer. I did say that I thought the trailer left me personally underwhelmed. I wasn't like super excited by it. It looked like they were just kind of copying and redoing everything from the first Mean Girls, but I still feel like it's a classic. It's a musical this time, so it's a little different at least. It's got a new cast, so I'm going to see it. I'm actually going to review it on my channel, so make sure you subscribe for that. But Mean Girls might be a minor hit. I don't know. Anyone interested in this Mean Girls movie? Okay, Scorpio Shadow is not interested. Okay. Seems like a lot of you guys are interested in horror movies, so that makes me feel great. Variety Vlog says this is tracking for a 26+ million opening weekend. I know. I'm actually not surprised Mean Girls is tracking to do pretty well. You know what? If this had been a proper sequel to the original Mean Girls with the original cast returning, I actually think this movie would have been like $100+ million opener, just because I think there's still a lot of nostalgic and love for that original, but because it's a reboot and it's a musical and it's got a new cast, I understand why it's opening at 26 million, but for a musical these days, $26 million opening is actually pretty decent. Rhea Real, thank you for looking out for the review. Evil Connor agrees this looks bad. I mean, I'm going to review it. I'm hoping it's good. I'm going in with an open mind, so we'll see. But I'm very curious to see how I like it. Okay, CD Woods says this looks bad, but Night Swim looks good. All right. Never watched Mean Girls, Oh no, you've got to. It's a classic. Britton White says, can't wait for Mean Girls. This is a phenomenon. It might be. You know, if it's really, really good, I can see this movie having long legs at the box office and like actually being a hit long term. But we'll see. It all depends on if it's actually good, though. I'm very curious to see if like Gen Z is going to like this movie as much as millennials like the first Mean Girls. Is Renee Rapp really that big, though? Like, I don't think like she's that famous yet, but she might be after this movie. Adrian says, I think Inside Out 2 could make $1 billion. Well, we'll talk about Inside Out 2. We'll get there. But moving on to the next movie, and we have The Beekeeper, which I did not know about this movie until I was looking at this list, but it's a Jason Statham movie, and it's about, he plays a beekeeper in this, who, get this, goes after a call center for doing phishing scams. I'm not kidding. It's like an action comedy with Jason Statham where he plays a beekeeper who goes after a call center. Like, I hate phishing scams too, but dang, this is such like a weird, intriguing premise to me. I don't know. I feel like this is a streaming movie, but I do like Jason Statham. I kind of like that it's at least an original story. But what a weird story is this? I watched the trailer for this just to see like what it was about, and I was like, this is such a bizarre plot, but okay, let's do it. Anyone interested in The Beekeeper? You guys can read a bit of the plot here if you're interested. Britton White says, no, I think it will flop. Yeah, I think it'll flop too. You don't know who Jason Statham is? He's in everything. He was just in the Meg 2. He's in the Fast and Furious movies. He was in that Hobbs and Shaw spin-off movie. He's in a lot of stuff. Okay. Anna Bear thinks it could be fun. Mauricio thinks it'll be a mid-hit. I don't know. I think this is a flop. I'm sorry. I think this screams streaming movie to me. But we'll see. I do like Jason Statham, though. Okay, so some of you are excited for it. That's interesting. Adrian never heard of it. Yeah, there's probably a lot of movies on here you guys haven't heard of, but we'll see. And then, of course, movies you definitely have heard of. We're getting the re-release of Soul, Turning Red, and Luca. Remember, these movies are from Pixar, but because of the pandemic, they got sent straight to Disney+. So now Disney's trying to fix their mistake, and they're sending these movies now to theaters for a limited time. So, if you guys want to see any of these Pixar movies in theaters, this is the time to do it. It's going to be January 12th, February 9th, and March 22nd. Anyone actually planning to go to theaters to see any of these movies again? I mean, you can just see them on Disney Plus. You can just stream them right now online. So I don't know how many people are going to do this, but anyone curious? Anyone like, yeah, I wish I could have seen Luca in theaters and going to do it? Okay, Nate's not interested. All right. No, they're not releasing on the same day. They're releasing on different dates. Scorpio Shadow says, I think I watched Soul. It honestly is the only movie that deserved to be in the cinema. True, out of all three of these movies, I liked Soul the most. I loved Soul, actually. Miss Olsen is not interested. Seemed like a lot of you aren't interested. Oh, Trevor owns them, so I guess you wouldn't need to. Okay, this is not a channel, says I could see this being a moderate success. Honestly, I don't see these movies making a ton of money. I think Disney is just putting these movies in theaters just to make Pixar seem theatrical worthy again. I actually don't see these movies making a ton of money just because people have already seen them and you can watch them online. But it's the thought that counts, I guess. They're just trying to fix Pixar's reputation. But I don't see these movies making a ton of money. But moving on to the next one. Then we have Argyle, which I actually am looking forward to. I think it looks or sounds interesting just from the trailer. Every time I go see a movie now, this trailer always appears. So I've seen the trailer a ton of times. It's got freaking Henry Cavill in it. It's got John Cena in it. It's directed by Matthew Vaughn, who's actually one of my favorite directors. He did the Kingsman movies. If you guys have seen the movie Eddie the Eagle, that's really good. Matthew Vaughn is a great director. He also did X-Men First Class. Underrated X-Men movie, underrated superhero movie. But anyway, I think he's a great director. I like the cast involved. Dua Lipa's in this. It's about, from the trailers, it seems like... Oh yeah, also, what's her name? Bryce Dallas Howard, she's the main lead in this, it looks. She plays an author, and she gets, like, taken away on this, like, action heist thing or spy thing that's going on. It's like the things that she writes about in her book, she actually has to go through in real life. So it's like a fish out of water story, which you guys know I love fish out of water stories. So this, I'm actually really looking forward to Argyle. Anyone else looking forward to this? Oh yes, Ariana DeBose is in this too. She's right there in the center. This actually has a pretty stacked cast. Natanya thinks this could be a hit. I don't know. I think it depends on if it's received well. This trailer, to me, this movie looks like it could go either way. This movie could either be really, really bad, or it might actually be good. I mean, look at this. It starts all open with Henry Cavill and Dua Lipa kind of dancing, but then you realize it's all just part of this woman's act that she's writing here. I don't know. I really like it. Bryce Dallas Howard, she's a great actress. She's actually one of my favorite actresses. And then she gets part of this entire, like, scheme that she's not supposed to be part of. I don't know. I think it looks interesting. Oh, Natanya, you like Dua Lipa's music? Okay. Dua Peep. Yep, Dua Peep is in it. Okay, seems like a lot of you guys are looking forward to it. Some of you have never heard of it, but I think this could be a mid-hit if it's received well. I think the key word is it has to be received well. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Now moving on to the next one, we have Lisa Frankenstein, which is a horror comedy starring Kathryn Newton, who actually plays Cassie, obviously from Quantumania. So this could be the movie to redeem her in some eyes, since a lot of people did not like her performance in that movie. Kathryn Newton is trying to become a big name. She's trying to become a big actress. So this is like her first really big solo movie that she's leading. Curious to see how this does. I actually think the trailer, again, looks kind of cute. It's another, like, coming-of-age horror comedy starring Kathryn Newton. I don't know. I think it looks kind of interesting. It kind of reminds me of Jennifer's Body a little bit. Anyone interested in this movie at all? Anyone interested in seeing a movie starring Kathryn Newton? I know she made a lot of enemies in Quantumania. But maybe it was just the script she was given. I don't know. Okay, Variety Vlogs think this will be a flop. Okay. Another flop. Interesting. Okay. No, it seems not a single person is interested. All right. Okay, CD Wood says you'll check it out, but only on streaming. Yeah, this is a streaming movie. This is definitely a streaming movie. I think we can all safely say this is not making a ton of money. I'd be surprised if this, like, blew up and became a huge hit, but I don't see it. Um, all right, so let's all agree this is a no. Now the next one, Madam Web, comes out February 14th. So this literally comes out on Valentine's Day. So guys or girls, if you guys want to take your partner out on a date, maybe go take them to see Madam Web. I've already done an entire breakdown to this trailer. I thought the trailer was hilarious in all of the ways that they did not intend. I don't know. I'm unironically starting to get excited for this movie because I have a feeling this movie is actually going to be like a really fun, cheesy, like 2000s throwback kind of movie. And I feel like I might actually end up liking it. I don't know if it'll be good. I won't go that far. But I feel like I might end up enjoying this movie. We'll see. I definitely think it's flopping for sure, though. There's no way this is making any money. But who's seeing it? Same Duck here says, it's Morbius 2.0. It really is Morbius 2.0. Although I think this movie could make more than Morbius. I think Kraven the Hunter will be Morbius 2.0. Oh, it's a day before your birthday, CD Woods. Oh, man. Maybe, I don't know if you want to see this for your birthday. Who Saw says, third-rate comic movies will flop hard. No one wants a lame superhero movie anymore. Yeah, I think all of these superhero movies that are not based off of, like, an already huge established IP, I think they're all going to flop. I think superhero movies are going to continue to suffer this year. Rachel says, agreed. Madam Web doesn't look good, but it looks like 2000s fun nostalgia. Exactly, Rachel. You get what I mean. But yeah, pretty much everyone in the chat is agreeing this movie's gonna flop pretty hard. Rhea Rue just says, no thanks. Okay. I don't see a single fan other than maybe Rachel here. Everyone's just like, nah, I'm not seeing this. All right. Anyway, moving on to the next one, we have Drive Away Dolls. Now, this is another movie I was not super familiar with. I'm not actually sure. It's got Beanie Feldstein in it, Coleman Domingo. Pedro Pascal's in this? Pedro Pascal, man, he is in everything. It's a Coen Brothers movie, so that's why it made it this list. It's going to be a wide release, so you know, the Coen Brothers are pretty hit and miss. I don't like everything that they put out, so I have no idea if I'm going to like this, to be honest, but I find it funny that Pedro Pascal is in this. Like, once Pedro Pascal was rumored to be cast in Fantastic Four. We still don't know if he's actually been cast yet, but so far he's just been rumored. But even with these rumors, people are like, oh my god, Pedro Pascal, he's in everything. He's in all these franchises, and now he's in this random movie. I don't know. Is anyone going to see this? Is anyone a Coen Brothers fan? I gotta be honest with you, Coen Brothers movies are pretty niche, and I don't think they tend to do well in theaters, like, ever. So I'm gonna go with flop. No, it's not a Barbie ripoff. I'm not sure what it is, but I just from everything I'm seeing and reading here, I'm not saying it's going to be a huge hit. CD Wood says, I will definitely not be watching this on my birthday. Fair enough, fair enough. Seems like most of you not interested. Okay. Editing Geek says, why haven't they released the F4 casting? It's been so long. I know. I mean, sorry. Everything that I'm seeing from the rumors and everything, it sounds like the issue might be that they just can't get actors to, like, officially sign on and agree. Like, every actor that they like, either they ask for too much money, or they don't like the script, or that there's something about it that's keeping them away from the project. Maybe it's Marvel itself. I don't know. Marvel might be so toxic it's keeping people away. But I think it really is. They want, like, big name talent to anchor that movie. And I just think big name talent are not wanting to sign up for a big contract with Marvel right now. I think that could be the issue. But anyway, moving on to the next movie that's coming out. And you guys know this is like, actually it's my number 2 most anticipated movie of the year. I very much love the first Dune. I think it's a great movie. You know what? I understand the people who don't like Dune. I do. I really do. I really do. But the first time I saw the first movie, I didn't get it 100%. I watched the movie and I was like, that was strange. That was weird. I didn't entirely get it. I didn't really understand the plot fully, but there was enough in the movie that I felt like if I watched it again, I might like it. And that's what happened. I watched it for a second time and I fell in love with this film because all the things I didn't understand the first time made sense to me the second time. And I was like, you know what? This movie is great. And I kept watching it. I went through a little Dune phase where I watched it like 4 times in 1 week. I don't know why I love this movie so much. I just do. So, my second most anticipated movie of the year. I can't wait for it. Now, will it be a hit? I think it will be a hit just because there are a lot of people looking forward to it. Do I think it'll be a $1 billion hit? No, just because I think it's too niche. Not enough people loved the first one like I did. If everyone loved the first one as much as I did, I think it would definitely be a $1 billion movie. But I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to make around like maybe 600 million worldwide. That's my prediction anyway, which would be more than the first one. So I would call this a solid hit. I think Dune is going to be a solid hit. What do you guys think? Bouncy Cloud says Dune is too abstract for you. I get it. I get it. It's really niche. I understand it's not for everyone, but it's for me. Adrian says Dune 2 can make $1 billion box office as well. I like your confidence, Adrian. I really like your confidence. You know what? 6 months ago, I was thinking Dune 2 could make $1 billion as well. But then I talked to you guys, and then I realized not everyone likes Dune. Britton White says, not interested, but I love Florence Pugh. Yeah, I like Florence Pugh. I'm excited to see more of Zendaya. She was hardly in the first one. The thing is, Denisha, I didn't like Oppenheimer, but I loved Dune. And that's actually why I went to go watch Oppenheimer a second time, because I was thinking I would have a similar experience that I had with Dune, where I saw Dune the second time and I loved it. I thought maybe I just need to see Oppenheimer a second time, but no, I still didn't care for it. Yeah, I agree, Potato Girl. It will definitely make a profit. Is this my dark era phase? How is this my dark era phase? But anyway, you guys know I'm already excited for it. We don't have to keep talking about this one. Now, the next one, Imaginary. I don't know. This was another one that I was like, what the heck is this? But of course, it's another Blumhouse horror film. Blumhouse, I swear he releases like umpteen million movies a year. Isn't it like every few weeks there's a new Blumhouse movie? At least that's how it feels to me. But anyway, I guess his movies are so cheap he could just make 1 million of them, because it definitely feels like he makes a ton of movies. But this is another one. We just had another Blumhouse movie in January, but we already have another. It's about an imaginary teddy bear. He's not really imaginary, but he's basically, I guess it's about a scary teddy bear. It's got DeWanda Wise and Tom Payne in it. And Jeff Wadlow, who's from Kick-Ass. I don't know about this. Again, you guys know I'm not huge into horror. It's not even that I get scared from horror movies. That's actually not the issue. It's very hard to scare me. I just tend to get bored with horror movies because they don't scare me. It's almost like the opposite problem. I'm just like, I don't find scary dolls creepy. I don't find really haunted phenomenon things creepy. So I just get bored because I'm like, oh yeah, the jump scare that I'm supposed to be afraid of. I don't know. But that just could be a me thing. I don't know. Anyone looking forward to this one? Britton White thinks it's a massive flop. Well, it's probably so cheap. I don't know how big of a flop it can be. But who knows how well this will do. Hyacinth also agrees you don't like horror movies. All right. Potato Girl says you call these preteen horror? Interesting. Okay. Maybe I just need to see some real horror movies. Maybe I haven't seen anything that's scary enough. Michael says Dune 2 is going to be epic. It would have destroyed the Marvels. Oh, it would have been so funny. If Dune 2 had stayed where it was supposed to open, which was right before the Marvels, I think the Marvels probably would have done even worse. It would have been really, really bad. But anyway, I just had to share this because it is part of the list. So moving to the next one, we have Kung Fu Panda 4. I can say this. Kung Fu Panda 4. There we go. So this is the 4th one in the series. I think that this movie is going to do really well. I think this is one of the few big hits that I've seen on this list so far. Keep in mind, we're on March 8th, and I can say out of all the movies we've seen so far, I don't know how many movies I would say are guaranteed to be massive, huge successes. So far, honestly, I think I only see 2. And it's Kung Fu Panda 4 and Dune 2. Everything else I think will be a mid-hit or a flop. So, not looking great so far. I think it's looking like a very slow year for movies so far. What do you guys think? And are you guys looking forward to Kung Fu Panda 4? Okay, Martin Schmidt think this will be a hit. Although some of you think it'll be a flop. Really? Why do you think it'll be a flop? I don't think this will be a flop. Here's why I don't think this will flop. I think the last movie came out so long ago that I think this movie will get what the last Minion movies got, which is like a huge gust of nostalgia from Gen Z who were like little kids when the last movie came out. I think now that they're older, they'll probably want to go see this movie just out of nostalgia. That's what I'm predicting. I actually think Kung Fu Panda 4 could do really, really well. Okay, Frankie Wants a Snack agrees with me. Jocelyn likes the animation. Yeah, the movie looked really good. I actually thought the trailer looked good. Yes, we're also getting another Shrek, but that's not coming out until 2025. Miss Olsen thinks this will make $900 million in the box office. I don't know if it'll make that much, but I do think it'll make a lot. I honestly, if it did make 900, I wouldn't be surprised. But I see this movie making more around like 700, maybe 800 if people really like it. Caldonia says, this'll hit. We love Panda. Dune 2 will flop. So you think this will be a hit, but Dune will flop? Oh man, if Dune flops, I'll be so sad. And Hollywood will be sad. I read an article recently, or maybe it wasn't an article, it was something, where apparently the studios think that Dune 2 could be like $1 billion movie. And I'm like, I really hope they're not, like, confident in that, because I don't think that's going to happen. And I'm a huge Dune fan. Seems like some of you just don't care about this movie. So we'll see what happens. But I do think this will be a hit. So the next one. Now, this one I'm actually really looking forward to as well. It's Mickey 17. Now, Mickey 17 is from the director Bong Joon-ho, who is one of my favorite directors. He actually made one of my all-time favorite movies, which is Snowpiercer. I drew a blank for a second. Snowpiercer. One of my all-time favorite movies. Probably in my top 20 all-time favorites. Love that movie. Also made Parasite, another film that I really, really love. So I really like him as a director. Think he's great. And then you add Robert Pattinson to the mix, and it's going to be a sci-fi film, which you guys know I love sci-fi movies. We don't really know anything about, well, it is based off of a book. I have no idea what the book is really about or anything. I don't know anything about the story yet. I just know the talent that's involved, and it's a sci-fi movie. So I'm excited for those two reasons alone. Anyone else curious about this movie at all? Miss Olsen says, if Dune 2 flops, Brittany will cry on the stream. I won't cry, but I will have to make a whole stream talking about just how badly Hollywood's doing. Because that would, if Dune 2 flopped, that wouldn't just be bad for Dune. It wouldn't just be bad for Warner Brothers. That would be bad for the whole industry. Because that would mean people just really do not want to see movies. Angel Pereira says, finally, a non-sequel. I know. Oh, you thought we were talking about Mickey Mouse? No. Although there are already horror games being made about the OG Mickey Mouse since he's in public domain now. Find that to be really funny. Okay, some of you are interested. Some of you need to see more, which is understandable. Astronomy, you also love Snowpiercer. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, Okja as well. I liked Okja too. Anyway, it's an original film by one of my favorite directors, starring one of my favorite actors, so I'm definitely seeing it. And then we have another Ghostbusters movie coming March 29th. I gotta be real with you guys. I have no, like, nostalgia or, like, childhood love for the Ghostbusters movies. First time I saw the first Ghostbuster was as an adult. So, I just don't care about these movies. I'm being totally real with you. I've seen the last one. I've seen the 2016 Ghostbusters. So I've seen a few Ghostbusters movies now. I just don't care at all about this franchise. This is a miss for me. I think this is another sequel to a franchise that should have ended a long time ago. But I don't know. I know Ghostbusters has a lot of fans, so maybe I'm wrong about this one. Do you guys think this will be a massive hit, or do you guys think this will be a flop? Scorpio Shadow says, nah, flop, though I feel bad for the actor if Mike in Stranger Things is in it. Yeah, I mean, he'll probably be alright. He at least still has the next Stranger Things season. But yeah, to be honest with you, I don't care about this film at all. Even though the last one was actually pretty decent. I just think this is another franchise, Ghostbusters. It's a franchise that really needs to be, like, ended. The fact that they're trying to draw it out is... It just put it out of its misery, please. Just end it. Just end it. This is not a channel says it's going to flop. Honestly, I think this could flop. Now, I don't know if this is my bias showing or what, but, like, the last Ghostbusters movie actually didn't do that, like, super well. So, honestly, I'm a little surprised that they made a sequel. I think they made a sequel just because people at least liked the last one, and they're probably hoping that this one will make more because of people like the last one. But honestly, I just think people are going to be so over it. I just don't see this doing well. I actually think this could flop, but we'll see. Seems like you guys agree. You think this could flop. Evil Connor, you don't think anyone watches these? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Who are you going to call? Not Ghostbusters. Denisha says, the last Ghostbusters was interesting, but I wouldn't look at it again. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I feel. I actually think the last one with Finn Wolfhard and, you know, all of them, I actually think that one was a decent movie. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't at the same time like a movie I feel like I need to go back and watch again. So I completely agree with you. Yeah, really, the franchise needs to retire. Yeah, Rusty, I agree. To me, the Ghostbusters franchise, it just feels dated. Like, it feels like something that should have stayed in the 80s. Like, it doesn't feel like something that really has a place in today's culture to me. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, because I know there's probably some Ghostbusters fans in there that are like, no, Ghostbusters is great, but sorry. That's my honest opinion. The next one, oh god, Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire. Now this one, y'all, I was never going to be super into this movie anyway, but now I'm like extra not into this movie after seeing Godzilla -1, because I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, how can I see this movie after having just watched Godzilla -1? Like, this movie just can't compare. Already, just from the trailer, I can already tell it can't compare. And I didn't like Godzilla vs. Kong. So the fact that this is a sequel to that already makes me not interested. So I gotta be real with you. I will only watch this movie to review it for the channel. I would not watch this movie otherwise. I have no interest in it. But what are you guys thinking? Miss Olsen says Ghostbusters is for Gen X. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Hybrid Venom says, I haven't watched Ghostbusters in so long. I mean, I gotta be real with you. Again, gotta be real. I think the Ghostbusters franchise is one of those franchises that's like Indiana Jones, where it's just not being passed down to like the younger generations. I don't think like kids today even know Ghostbusters. Michael says, I'm excited for Godzilla x Kong. Okay, that's great. This film is like the campy show era of Godzilla from some of the 1960s. Well, I'm glad that you're excited. I just don't think I like these really campy, silly, big monster movies. To me, I want something to care about. I don't just want to see the giant dinosaurs fight each other. I don't know. That's why I like Godzilla -1 so much, is because I actually really like the characters and the story. And I don't think I'm going to care about the human actors at all in this movie. Denisha Clower says, I'm watching the first Godzilla x Kong with a blank face. It didn't move me. Yeah, honestly, I did not like that movie at all. I thought it was very bad. But moving on to the next one. Also, it's funny that they're making him Barbenheimer. Like, they made him black and pink. That's just funny to me. Anyway, we're getting Rebel Moon Part 2, which is interesting because it doesn't look like the first Rebel Moon is doing that well. In fact, it's looking like the first Rebel Moon is kind of a flop for Netflix, like both critically and with viewership. So is anyone even going to be around for the second one? Oh man, I haven't seen Rebel Moon yet. I was going to see it, but then the reviews were so bad, and I was just like, oh, I don't know if I really need to. Do you guys want me to watch this? Should I review it for the channel? I don't know. I will only watch it if you guys really want me to. But I don't see anyone watching this second because it doesn't seem like enough people watched the first one and liked it. So I don't know. I don't know about this. Sorry if you're a Zack Snyder fan of my chat, but I think this will be a big flop. I don't even think this is going to cinemas, is it? No, it's going on Netflix December... No. Wait. Maybe it might be going to theaters? I don't know. It shouldn't be going to theaters. No, it says Netflix. Okay. I don't know why this is the only Netflix movie that they're adding to this list. Maybe because it's a Zack Snyder movie? I don't know. But it is a Netflix release. But if it was going to theaters, oh man, definitely a huge flop. No. Did anyone even watch the first Rebel Moon here in my chat? Oh, Reneria says, watch Rebel Moon within an hour after it dropped. Don't force yourself to suffer. Oh man, is it that bad? Potato Girl says, the trailer alone was enough to strongly discourage me from watching it. Yeah, to be honest, there were so many people who were hyping this movie up. Rebel Moon is like being like the next Star Wars or like some massive big thing. And I'm like, are we watching the same trailer? What? I never understood that. I gotta be honest, I never understood it. Why is he wearing a t-shirt in space? This is not an actual still from the movie. Oh, Martin Schmidt, you fell asleep. Oh no, that's the worst kind of bad. Oh man. You know what? I don't think I'm gonna watch this movie anymore. You guys just saved me. Thank you for that. Thank you. All right, so moving on to the next one. We have an untitled Monster Universe film. Again, I don't think we know a ton about this. But it seems like Universal's still trying to have their dark universe that didn't really work out. So we'll see what happens with this. Apparently it's going to be another Dracula story. It's got Melissa Barrera in it. Interesting. And Dan Stevens. And Juan Carlo Esposito. So it's got a pretty good cast. I just don't know what it's going to be. We don't really have any sort of promotional material for it yet. So I don't know. I don't know if Universal's ever going to get that dark universe, but it seems like they're still trying. Who knows? That dark universe, man, that has to be one of the most embarrassing stories in Hollywood of the past 10 years. They had a whole like photo shoot, a whole like they were teasing so many Easter eggs in that Mummy movie for it never to really materialize. That's so embarrassing. Anyone interested in this potential monster movie? Okay, Potato Girl just thinks Dan Stevens is hot. All right. Nosferatu's at the very end. We're going to get to that. Variety Vlogs thinks this will flop. Who knows? Who knows? Honestly, I think it will probably flop just because the Dark Universe did not work out for them. And I don't know, for some reason, Universal and their monster movies just haven't been doing well, so I'm just going to say flop. Astronomy says they are making too much Dracula. There isn't any reason to care about anyone. They all seem the same. Yeah, I agree. It does seem weird that they're going back to the Dracula thing. But anyway, going to Challengers. This is Zendaya's movie. Now, this is a big one for Zendaya. This is the first movie that she's leading on her own that isn't attached to any sort of IP. It's not a sequel to anything, so the only thing that's selling this movie really is her and her star power. It's an original story, so I'm very curious to see how this does. The director is Luca Guadagnino, who I really like because he made Call Me By Your Name, and you guys know I love that movie. So I'm looking forward to this movie just because I like the director, and I like Zendaya, but I don't know if this movie is going to do like gangbusters just because this genre has not been doing very well. Like, for example, right now, we have a rom-com in theaters called Anyone But You, and it's doing okay. It's actually doing pretty decent for a rom-com, but it's still, like, not doing, like, huge numbers. And then the Jennifer Lawrence rom-com that came out earlier this year also didn't really do huge numbers, and she did Full Frontal. So, I don't know. If this movie does do well and say, like, 100 million at least worldwide, I think this could be huge for Zendaya. It could prove that she's actually a star. I'm really rooting for this one because I'm rooting for Zendaya, but I don't know. I think this genre is having a really hard time in theaters right now, so we'll see. What do you guys think? Do you think this will be a hit for her, or do you think this will flop? Natanya says maybe hit. All right. Variety Vlogs says it'll be a hit. Evil Connor says this movie looks weird to me. You know what? For Zendaya, I think Zendaya is very smart. I think she's very like business savvy and media intelligent. I think she's very smart with how she's like planned and laid out her career so far. What's odd to me is that she must know that like for this to be her first like solo movie to anchor, this is a huge deal because everyone's going to be looking at this movie to see like, oh, can she lead a film? Can she get a movie to like actually make a lot of money at the box office just on her name alone? And she decided to go for a movie that's about tennis? I don't know. That was a strange choice. I gotta be honest, when I looked at the trailer, I was like, if this starred anyone else, I would say this should have been sent to streaming. But you know what? Just because it's Zendaya, I'm at least going to give it a try. But what do you guys think? Oh, Ryu wants a poll? I haven't done a poll in a while. Should I do a poll for this one? Oh, Natanya also wants it. You know what? Because I haven't done a poll in a minute. Let's do a poll. Do you think Challengers is going to be a hit? So I'm going to say hit, flop. Yep, that's it. The only two. Let's see. What do you guys say? Okay. Oh, Martin Schmidt, you think it's a streaming movie? Yeah, that's what I thought in the trailer, so we'll see, Miss Olsen is only going to see it for Zendaya? Yeah. Blue Gecko Nerd says Zendaya is queen, no one can replace her. We'll see. I'm very, very curious to see how well this does. Denisha says, Brittany, I watched the trailer and it's boring, but it's the movie kind of reminded me of I, Tonya that starred Margot Robbie. The thing is, I loved I, Tonya. I thought I, Tonya was great, and I don't think this looks like I, Tonya at all. I think this looks like a freaky, sexy tennis movie? I don't know. I just don't know if this has a wide audience, but we'll see. Going to the, oh no, 67% of you think this will flop. That's really bad. 33% of you think it will be a hit, but most of you, vast majority of you think this will be a flop. Oh no, feel bad for Zendaya, but I hope this works out for her, but we'll see. At least she has Dune 2 to at least cushion the fall a little bit, unless that flops too. But ending the poll now. Okay, Scorpio Shadow wants one for Inside Out 2. Maybe. I don't want the stream to get too long. It is the first poll of the year, that's true. It seems like most of you are just gonna watch it on streaming. You know what? I think it'll blow up on streaming regardless of how it does in theaters, so we'll see. Moving on to the next movie. So we have The Fall Guy, which is a Ryan Gosling movie where he plays a stuntman. This is an action comedy. I've watched the trailer for this. I think this actually looks pretty funny. And Ryan Gosling is coming off of Barbie, so he's got a career high going right now. People might see this just because he has a lot of new fans. I don't know. The only thing that makes me think this might have a chance at being a hit is just because Ryan Gosling's like really big right now. That's it. Do you guys think this movie, The Fall Guy, has any chance at doing well? Variety Vlogs thinks this will be a mild hit. I think this could be a mild hit. Emphasis on the mild, but I think it could at least break even. Just because there aren't a lot of other big things coming out and like people like Ryan Gosling, so we'll see. I mean, it is what it is, Scorpio Shadow. Okay, Scorpio, you also think it'll flop? Okay. Caldonia says, Ryan still playing the young stud heartthrob. I mean, that's literally his entire career. He just plays the young heartthrob. Mild hit. Seems like you guys think it'll just be a mild hit. Miss Olsen says 50-50. Okay. Oh, you know Ryan Gosling's stylist. Well, that's nice. You're like 2 degrees away from him. But anyway, I think this could be a mild hit. We'll see though. Now the next one we have something called Horoscope. Is this another horror movie? Yep, this is Screen Gems horror movie. Doesn't really look like it has anyone huge in the cast. I haven't seen anything, but it's... Oh no! It's from the director of Moonfall? Oh, giant flop. No. If you guys have seen Moonfall, that movie is laughably bad. So no, this is a giant flop here. Now, if is a Ryan Reynolds movie. And I gotta be honest, I saw this trailer. Also looked terrible. Looked terrible. I cannot believe this is going to actual theaters and not just going straight to streaming, because this looks like a straight to streaming movie. If you guys don't know what this is, it stars Ryan Reynolds and a fictitious purple creature. It's like a fun family comedy with like Ryan Reynolds and this little kid and this kind of like big CGI creature that looks like some purple monstrosity. You can see it here. I don't know, man. This trailer looks very bad to me and like kind of cringy. Like, what is this? What is this? I think this is flop. I think this is massive flop. But what do you think? Barney 2.0. I know, right? So yeah, we're all agreeing it's going to be a flop. Variety Vlogs thinks mid-hit, though. Mid-hit? Really? Jocelyn calls this Grimace Shake the movie. It kind of looks like it. It does. Astronomy says, if looks like a streaming movie, it looks so goofy and small for theaters. It does. It looks very small for theaters. That's a great word for it, because I think a lot of these movies that are going to flop are just too small for theaters. I think to be a theater movie, you got to have, like, you know, it's got to be cinema worthy. And I just don't think that this trailer made If look cinema worthy. Oh no, not Walmart Grimace. You guys are so savage. So savage. Anna Bear says flop, but I'll probably watch it. You know what? I'll watch it on streaming, or I'll watch it in theaters if you guys want me to review it. I might have to, because there's not a lot going on. I mean, again, we're on May 17th here. And how many movies have we gone over are you guys, like, actually looking forward to? Seriously, that's what I mean when I say I think this looks like a pretty bad year for movies so far. Moving on to the next one, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Yes, we're getting yet another one. You know what? I really like the Andy Serkis Planet of the Apes movies. I think the first one of that series was actually quite good. There was a moment, it's one of my favorite theater experiences I've ever had, was actually watching the first Planet of the Apes movie with Andy Serkis. And spoiler alert, but there's a scene in the movie where Caesar speaks for the first time, and he just simply says no. But like my entire theater like gasped and shocked, because how they did it, how they set it up was a cool scene. So I really like those movies. I really like those movies a lot. So the fact that Disney, just because they bought Fox and felt the need to like keep making more of them so soon after those previous movies just ended, I don't know. I feel like you have a hard road to top those previous movies. Plus, I just feel like it's too soon for another reboot, another adaptation. So I'm not that interested in this movie, actually. Are you guys looking forward to it, though? Please be honest. Seems like some of you guys are excited for it. Okay. Potato Girl says hit. Seems like a lot of people really like the Planet of the Apes series. All right. Scorpio Shadows, you'll watch it on streaming. All right. Blue Gecko Nerd says, yeah, I know, right? Why can't we have Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends movie? I don't think that's ever happening. Yeah, Anna Bear, this is another IP. I feel the same way about Planet of the Apes as I do about the Ghostbusters, in that I just think it's a franchise that really should be done by now. They should not be like drawing this franchise out for as long as they have. Ruru, watching it on streaming. Yeah. Oh, Potato Girl, you were super excited for it. You think it's going to be amazing. Well, I hope it's a hit for you. Variety Vlogs thinks it's going to be a flop. Yeah, I think it's going to be a flop. So moving on to the next one, we're on Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Furiosa, man. I think this movie could actually be a mid-hit, just because I think the last Mad Max movie was so well loved. I think some people are going to give this one a shot. I think the trailer, even though it looks very CGI heavy, I still think it looks really cool. So I think this could be a mid-hit. I really do. Is anyone excited for this one, the Furiosa movie? I'm still haven't seen Color Purple. Sorry, I am going to see it. It's just I've been busy with the holidays and everything. And I didn't want to see such a sad movie on Christmas. So I'm going to see the Color Purple. I just haven't gone around to it yet. Denisha says, I'm surprised they haven't done a live adaptation of Coraline. I don't want to see that. No, don't do that. Ryu says, I will watch the one on streaming as well. Okay, you're just watching everything on streaming, Ryu. Potato Girl, you are interested? Okay. Mild Tit Variety Vlogs agrees. Arvin says, still can't believe that guy was Chris Hemsworth. I know, he looks nothing like him in the trailer. Really doesn't. Scorpio Shadow says, funny there is no Disney movie. Sad year for Disney. I think the only Disney movie that will be a massive hit for them, like you can't refute it, I think it'll be Inside Out, but we'll get to Inside Out. Anyway, sorry, I just hit the mic. Getting to the next one. Garfield. This is another Chris Pratt movie. Apparently he wants to voice every iconic character ever. So we have a Garfield animated movie. I don't know how this is going to do. Is Garfield still really popular? I don't know, but there doesn't seem like there has been a family film in a long time, so I could see families just wanting to take their kids to see this movie because there won't be a lot of other movies to take their kids to go see. So this might be a hit just out of default. So we'll see. I don't know. I think this could be another mid hit though, just because Chris Pratt does seem to be a draw. Is anyone interested in this Garfield movie? Riri was a no thanks. You're really not interested in anything. Miss Olsen says you might watch. Martin Smith says the trailer looks fun. Jocelyn says, please hire actual voice actors. I don't hate Chris Pratt, but why does he have to voice everything? He really is. Chris Pratt has one of the best agents in the industry because they really give him like the best roles. Yes, I know that, Blue Gecko Nerd. Rusty Shackelford says, man, Chris Pratt again. You know what? Chris Pratt might just have haters just because he's overexposed. Scorpio Shadow says, I honestly think Super Mario was meh enough for Garfield. Nope. What do you mean? Oh, you think you thought Super Mario was okay enough, but you don't think Garfield will be good? Yeah, I don't think the movie will be great, but I think it'll be just enough that they'll probably get enough families to go see it. It'll probably break even, but we'll see. We'll see. Next movie, we have Ballerina, which is the spin-off of the John Wick series. It's actually going to star Ana de Armas, who I really like. She's going to play, obviously, a ballerina. It's going to be an action movie. I hope there's going to be a lot of cool action sequences in it, like John Wick movies are known for. Very curious to see what this is going to play out like. I don't know if it's going to be a hit because, you know, John Wick himself is not going to play a huge role in this movie. It's going to be mainly about Ana de Armas. So, and she's a completely new original character that hasn't been introduced to the series yet, so I don't know. I think this movie could be a potential flop, to be honest, if it's not good. Even if it is really good, I just don't know if people are going to see this movie if, like, Keanu Reeves is not front and center in it. But we'll see. I think it could go either way. I need to see more marketing, though. What do you guys think? Scorpio Shadow says, I thought they were talking about the Leap version. What Leap version? Astronomy says, excited for Ballerina. If they do the action right, I think this could be a good hit. I don't know if this will be a hit, to be honest. If it is a hit, I think it'll be a small hit. I don't see this breaking out and doing like huge numbers. Nothing close to what the last John Wick movie did. Anna Bear thinks flop? Oh, all right. You don't like Ana de Armas after Ghosted? I really liked her in Knives Out, so it would be a shame if like her career petered out, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And then the next movie I know you guys are looking forward to is Inside Out 2. Very much looking forward to this film. I think it looks great just from the quick teaser that we've seen. You guys know I love the first movie. I've worked with these characters in Epcot, so I feel like I have a personal attachment to them. I'm very curious to see what they do with Riley now that she's growing up and entering puberty and what they're going to do with these new emotions. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with this movie. I'm very much looking forward to it, but what do you guys think? I think this movie will be a hit. I think it might be for Disney that only Inside Out 2 and Deadpool 3 could be their only hits of the year. Maybe. I don't know. But honestly, it's looking like those two movies could be their only hits of the year. And honestly, I think there's even a scenario, a world, where Inside Out 2 profits and makes more money than Deadpool 3. But we'll see. We'll see. But I do think this will be a hit. Astronomy says, didn't the last John Wick only do 400 million? True. The John Wick movies, they're successful. They're successful compared to the budget, but they're not like super huge movies that make a ton of money. So that's why I don't think the ballerina movie is really going to do all that well either. Denisha says, I'm embarrassed to say this, but I haven't seen the first one. Oh, don't be embarrassed. The first one is good. I do recommend it, though. Seems like most of you guys are saying hit, for sure. Riru says, I think it will be a hit. I will wait for streaming, though. Inside Out wasn't my favorite film. It was a cute, but still. Oh, no, Rhea. You just seeing everything in streaming. What are you seeing in theaters? Do you go to theaters? I mean, it's cool if you don't, but I'm just curious at this point. Bounty Cloud says, I didn't like the first Inside Out at all. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think my prediction for this is that I don't know if it'll make more than Deadpool 3, but what I'm saying is I think it'll make more profit. Because I think Deadpool 3 will slightly underperform, while I think this movie will slightly overperform. So that's my prediction. I think this movie will be a hit for them. I really do. Astronomy says, considering the last one made about 860 million, this could be a hit. Exactly. I think this could be a massive hit for them. But moving on to the next one. Now we have Bad Boys 4 with Will Smith. I don't know if this is going to do what the last one did, just because Will Smith in his image has been torpedoed since the last one came out. I don't know if people really want to go to a theater to see a Will Smith movie these days. But if they do, I think Bad Boy 4 has a decent chance. I mean, the last one was a hit. And I actually saw the last one. I thought it was pretty good. So we'll see. Maybe Will Smith desperately needs this to be a hit to get his career back on track. But I just don't know, man. I swear, every time I hear about his name in the news, it's always about something not good, something strange, something weird, something about his wife, something about his kids. And I'm just like, I know way too much information about you and your life and your dating life and your sex life and all of this. And I'm just like, dude, can you and your family, like, shut up? I'm sorry. But I'm over the Smiths. Actually, that's not fair. I actually like Willow and Jaden. I'm just over Jada and Will. I don't care for them. So, I don't know. Bad Boys 4 could be a hit. The last one was a hit. But, like, does anyone want to see a Will Smith movie right now? Variety Vlog says, is Chris Rock gonna slap him in this film? You know what? Maybe he should. They made 4 Bad Boys. Yeah. Bad Boys 3 just came out a few years ago. Scorpio Shadow says, also Maya Hawke is in Inside Out too. Very true. She plays anxiety. I know. I kind of feel bad for Willow and Jaden. I mean, they obviously did not grow up in a normal household, so that explains why they're not normal themselves. Arvin says, Bad Boys will be good if Will Smith killed Jada Smith in that movie. I would love that scene. Arvin! Oh, wow. I can't believe you said that. Yeah, he really torpedoed his image. I don't know. I can see this movie making half of what the last one made just because I think people are over Will Smith. And that's a shame, too. Because before then, I really liked Will Smith, but nope. I'm done. ICN says if he slaps someone, maybe. Oh, God. You guys are so funny. So funny. Anyway, the next one, we have A Quiet Place Day 1, which I think maybe could do well. It's a prequel to the Quiet Place story. I think this is coming out way too soon, though. Like, the sequel to A Quiet Place, that came out... I feel like that the last Quiet Place movie came out so long ago. Like, is the world really clamoring for more Quiet Place stories to the point that we need a prequel now? And this isn't even, like, about the main cast that was in the original movies. So, I don't know. This is another example of Hollywood trying to expand a property that I don't think needs to be expanded. They're trying to turn A Quiet Place into some cinematic universe with multiple movies. And I don't think it needs that. I just don't think it needs that. Is anyone excited for this A Quiet Place Day 1 situation? Anyone going to go see this? Okay, it's a streaming movie. Yeah, streaming movie for sure. Yeah, CD Woods, you'll watch it on streaming. Literally all of you are just saying it's a streaming movie. Not that you won't see it, you just won't see it in theaters. All right, not a single person is like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Astronomy says, sounds really cool. It'll be interesting to see why things are the way they are. I don't know if we actually need this movie, though. No, we didn't. I actually think explaining more behind the lore ruins the movie. What makes The Quiet Place so interesting is, like, the mystery of it all. Trying to explain everything, I think, is going to make it less cool. I know, they're trying to turn this into a franchise, and I just don't think A Quiet Place is something that needs to be turned into a franchise. I just don't. And then we have Horizon, an American saga. I have no idea what the heck this is. Kevin Costner. Is this about Yellowstone? It's a 2-part theatrical event that he directed and produced himself. And it's an American Western. It's got Sam Worthington, Jenna Malone, Michael Rooker. Okay, it's got some big names in here. I'm not into Westerns, though. Don't watch Yellowstone. Not that this is Yellowstone related, but I don't know. Anyone gonna watch this Western movie by Kevin Costner? This is so not up my alley. So not something that I would ever watch. So, anyone interested in it? I know, as soon as I saw this name, I'm totally with you. I thought this was about to be like an adaptation of Horizon Zero Dawn or something. I'd be like, oh yeah, heck yeah, I'll watch that. But this, I don't know. I tried to watch Yellowstone and I was like, this is too Western for me. I know, everything's a 2-part now. I hate it. Yeah, I'm seeing lots of not interested. Flop, okay. Seems like you guys mostly agree this will flop. Although there's a big audience for this kind of stuff. Yellowstone is huge. I don't know if people are going to go see this movie that's got him in it. It's not Yellowstone related, but yeah, it is quite, I mean, Yellowstone is very popular, so who knows? There is an audience for stuff like this. I'm just not in it. You know what? If they do a Horizon Zero Dawn adaptation, I would actually want it to be an HBO series and not a movie. But anyway, moving on to the next one. We also have Despicable Me. I think this movie could be a hit. I mean, all the Despicable Me movies have been a hit. People love the Minions. People love this franchise. I don't think it's been tainted yet. The only thing that could work against this movie is, again, I think people are generally starting to get tired of franchises that have gone on for a long time. And the first Despicable Me movie came out in, like, the early 2010s, so, like, over 10 years ago at this point. So I think the only thing that's really holding this movie back is that it's the 4th one in the series, and it's been a series that's going on for so long, so people might just be tired of it by now. But other than that, I think this movie is going to be a hit, because these movies are always going to be a hit. But what do you guys think? Are you looking forward to Despicable Me 4? Okay, Martin Schmidt is saying yes. Yep, people love the Minions. Ray Roo says no, of course. Denisha says it's going to be a hit. Yellowstone has the highest ratings in Paramount on cable. Like I said, there is an audience for this stuff. I'm just not in that audience. The Blue Gecko Nerd says, I need to have my Minions costume right here, right now. You know what? Anything the Minions are in, I think will just print money. Because they just... I even used to have a USB drive that was a little Minion. Even I used to be part of the Minions craze. Wait, you think this movie's going to flop, Scorpio Shadow? I don't think so. I think it'll be a big hit. This is one of the few movies this year that I actually think will be a solid hit. Now, Twisters. This is another movie. Now, apparently, this is not... They're saying this is not a reboot or a sequel. This is a whole new movie, but it's still sort of based off of the original Twisters. I don't know. But it's got an interesting cast. I think... Who's in this cast? Daisy Edgar Jones is in this. Lee Isaac Chung. I think, isn't the guy from Stranger Things 4 in this? I thought I read that he was in it, but maybe not. Anyway, I'm actually really looking forward to Twisters, just because I think I really like the original Twisters, and I think we haven't had a disaster movie based on weather events recently, and I think that's the kind of movie that we just don't get a lot of. So for me, as someone who likes disaster movies, this excites me. I want to see a disaster movie with a bunch of tornadoes roaming around. That sounds cool to me. So I'm into this. I'm definitely going to watch Twisters. I don't know if the sequels or reboot or whatever it is way too late because the movie came out like a long time ago. But I'm still going to say it. I'm interested in it. Is anyone going to watch Twisters? Oh, Martin, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Minions will have probably TikTok moments again. Oh, yeah. I'm sure Despicable Me 4 will be full to the brim with TikTok moments. Definitely. CD Woods, okay, you'll watch it on streaming. Oh, Rhea Roo, you'll actually watch it. Will you watch it in theaters? Or is it going to be on streaming? Anna Bear says the original movie was great, but I don't know about this one. Yeah, it is such a long time to, like, wait for another movie, right? Potato Girl says, probably streaming for me. Oh, God, is this another streaming movie? I actually thought this movie could be a hit. I was going to say this movie could be one of the surprise hits of the year. But I don't know, for me, it looks like just based on this chat, you guys are not interested in this movie. So maybe it'll be a flop. I don't know. I'm still thinking this could be a mid-hit, though. I'm going to say mid-hit. Evil Connor, you agree with me. Everyone loves to watch a good evil twister, right? They're fun to watch. Okay. Ageman says, it has been an hour. It felt like 10 minutes. I know. I can't believe we've been talking for an hour. It's crazy. We got to keep going, though. I did not mean for this stream to take like 2 hours, but who knows at this point. We'll see. But moving on to the next one, we have Deadpool 3 finally. Why didn't they have an image for this? But anyway, we have Deadpool 3. Now, we have talked about Deadpool 3 on my channel already a lot. I think this movie will be a hit in the sense that it will make money. But I think it will be considered a successful disappointment because it won't make as much money as people think it should and are predicting it to make. So I predict Deadpool 3 will make between... I think if this movie made $700 million, that would be, in my opinion, a huge success. That's how much I think is going against this film. I think the top end is like 700 million. And here's why. It's not just because the MCU is struggling, and it is. Because I know Deadpool kind of technically exists outside of that space a little bit. That's why people are excited for it. But I really do think that, like, the superhero genre in general is just so down right now, and, like, the general audience is just so not interested in anything superhero related, that by the time this movie comes out, I think that the general audiences, especially general audiences abroad, are just not going to care as much. Like, I feel like people are just going to wait for streaming, or they're just going to say, oh, it's another cameo-filled cash grab, because I'm already seeing those comments on social media. So, I don't know. I think if it's really well received, I could see it on the very top end maybe making about what Guardians 3 made. But on the low end, oh no, I can see it making like Ant-Man and the Wasp numbers, Quantumania numbers. Yeah, I said it. If the movie is not well received, I think it can make Quantumania numbers. I think it could do that badly. So it's totally up in the air. I don't know how well Deadpool 3 is going to do yet. But I am nervous. I think it almost entirely depends on the quality of the movie, on how much it makes. So it really is up to them on just making a really great movie. So we'll see. But that's my prediction. Hycian says Deadpool will be a mild hit. Okay. Well, I'm seeing a lot of mild hit here. Yeah, I think mild hit, successful disappointment, that sort of thing is what I'm predicting. Martin Schmidt says 700 to 800 million. Yeah, that's what I'm predicting too. About what the last Deadpool movie made. So many people are thinking Deadpool 3 is going to make like Avengers money. And it's going to make Deadpool money, which is very different. Ray Roo says, I like the first Deadpool, but the second one was meh. I will watch 3 on streaming. You know what, Rhea? I know a movie will be a massive hit when you say you're going to see something on theaters, because you're like, nah, I'm just going to see it on streaming. Miss Olsen says, the movie will flop. I can feel it. Like 500 to 700 million. Oh, no. If this movie made 500 million, man, heads will roll. Heads would absolutely roll. Like, so many people would be getting fired at Marvel and Disney Like, do you understand? Like, I think if Kevin Feige himself might actually get fired if that happened. Like, that would be cataclysmic. But also, I did say I can see it because Quantumania made about that much. So if the movie isn't well received, I can still see it, unfortunately. So yeah, I actually think your range is right. I think, for me, I see this movie making between 5 to 800 million, depending on reception. That's where I would put this movie. 5 to 800 million, entirely dependent on reception. Denisha says, I think it would be the most talked about movie of the year. Oh yeah, I think it'll be talked about a lot. You know what? I also think Wicked could be talked about a lot, but we'll get to that. I think Wicked could be this year's Barbie, if they play it right. Primal Plasma says, because Deadpool 3 is rated R, there is no way it will make Avengers Infinity War money, because parents can't take their kids to the film. Exactly, there's so many things going against Deadpool. I don't know why everyone's like, oh no, it's going to be a massive hit. I feel like I'm like screaming, raising the alarms, like, no guys, you don't understand. If this movie is not good, if people don't like this movie, it could be another Quantumania disaster. I really feel it can. But anyway, getting back to this, Borderlands. Borderlands is an adaptation of a popular video game. It's got Jack Black in it. I like that. Jamie Lee Curtis, Kevin Hart. So it's got some big names here. It's from the director Eli Roth. So he's kind of hit and miss too. Don't always love his stuff, but could be interesting. I think Borderlands is a huge game. It might get a lot of interest just because people like Borderlands so much. I have no idea if people are actually going to watch it. I'm very curious to see if this is another video game adaptation that could really blow up. But I do think it has potential to do so. I think this has potential to be a big hit, but we'll see. I really need to see more from the marketing. Who's interested in Borderlands? Who's played the game? Can you tell me if you think this has potential? I really have no idea. Ryu, what? You're into Borderlands? This is the one thing you're into? Well, then maybe this will be a $1 billion hit. I don't know. You'll watch me. Okay. Primal Plasma says, Eli Roth, that's going to be awesome. I mean, he definitely goes for it, so that's something. Okay, you like video games, Rhea. Got it. Jocelyn says, video games adaptations are so hit and miss, Hollywood almost never gets it right. Well, I feel like lately they have been getting it right more often than they've been getting it wrong, so maybe Borderlands will be good. But it seems like a lot of you guys are actually into this. It seems like I have a lot of gamers in my chat, so that's fun. Maybe Borderlands will be a huge hit. I don't know. I actually think this has another potential to really... This is one of those movies I feel like could be a sleeper hit, so we'll see. And then we have Alien Romulus. Another Alien movie. The only reason this movie is being made is because Disney bought the rights to Fox, and they feel like they have to exploit all their IP because they paid like $74 billion to buy Fox. So now they feel like they have to keep making these movies just so they can use Fox IP. So that's why we're getting another Alien movie, because Disney feels like they have to use that IP for something. Even though this is, yet again, like Ghostbusters, another franchise that really should have ended a long time ago and should not be turned into this, like, MCU-ified cinematic universe thing that they're trying to do. Because there's even, like, TV shows in the works as well. I don't know, man. I think they're doing too much with Alien. Way too much with Alien. Do you guys think this will be a hit? I think because this is another, sequel on a very old franchise that I think needs to be done, I think this movie could flop. I think it really could. But what do you guys think? Yeah, no, another Alien movie. I know, that's why they released that baby book I showed you guys on Twitter, where it was like A for Alien. Because Disney is releasing a baby book for Alien based on the Alien franchise. I think that's crazy. Potato Girl, you're skipping Alien. Yeah, Ryu, you're over Alien. I think even people who love Alien, and there are a lot of people who really do love Alien, I think even those people are like, really, do we need another one? Because we just don't. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of flops for this one, yeah. I'm definitely think this is gonna flop too. Hidden Name thinks it's gonna flop. Evil Connor is just stunned. Scorpio Shadow says, this is why I need new and original stuff. Because what? I know. Seems like most of you guys are very upset about this, so I definitely think it's going to flop. Yeah. So moving on to Kraven the Hunter. This is the movie I really do think is going to be Morbius 2. Because why in the earth are they doing this? Also, I'm pretty sure it's, like, got the same writers and, like, from the same producers as Morbius. Like, it's all just Morbius. It's all the Morbius cinematic universe over there at Sony. I think this movie's going to flop. I think this movie's going to flop so bad, so hard. I think this is not going to do well. I think the trailer also looks really embarrassing, and it looks like Morbius. So, yeah, Kraven the Hunter, massive flop. I would love to see anyone disagree, though. Anyone think that this movie could possibly be a hit? Anyone thinking, oh yeah, Kraven the Hunter, that's going to be, the $1 billion hit of the year? I can't believe it, but is anyone going to argue that? Yep, floppity flop, yeah. Bye, Natanya. It's going to make more $1 billion, is it? Is it? I don't think so. Radioactive Lion. What do you mean Radioactive Lion? Denisha says Brittany is... Wait, where'd it go? Oh no, did you delete the comment? Yeah, Martin Schmidt says this movie will be the joke of the year. I think this movie will probably be the most memed movie of the year. That for sure. It'll be like, again, like Morbius. It'll be memed to death. This movie will be known more for memes than it will be for being an actual movie, is what I'm saying. This and Madam Web. Oh, Hidden Name, you thought it looked okay? Okay, well that's fair. We got one defender. That's totally fine. Hycian says it doesn't even sound interesting. Yeah. I think it looks really, really bad. Like, really bad. But we'll see. We'll see. I think it's gonna flop. So the next one we have is Beetlejuice 2 with Jenna Ortega. And yes, we are getting Michael Keaton back as well. Now, I'm actually kind of looking forward to Beetlejuice 2, even though I'm like, why in the world are we making a Beetlejuice 2? But since we are, the fact that they've got Jenna Ortega back to play, I think she's playing Winona Ryder's daughter? So it's not going to be a reboot, it's going to be a sequel. So it's going to be interesting. I feel like she's just going to be playing Wednesday again, but the role works so well for her, I guess she's like, I don't mind being typecast. But I don't know. Just because I really like the first Beetlejuice movie, I'm kind of looking forward to this, and I like the sort of macabre, sort of weird movies like that, and we don't really get a lot of those, so I'm kind of looking forward to this, not gonna lie. I think this movie could actually be a big hit just because it's Jenna Ortega's in it, and it has a lot of the original cast back, plus Beetlejuice is still like a beloved movie I think people still watch, like around Halloween. So I think Beetlejuice 2 could actually be another big surprise mega hit. But what do you guys think? Riru, you're worried? Okay. Bounty Clouds is interested because of Jenna Ortega. Interesting. Scorpio Shadow is just sad there's no original stuff. I know, it's so sad. Hidden Name thinks this is gonna flop? I don't think it's gonna flop. I really do think this one could be a hit. Edgeman says never watched it, but I'm actually excited for this. Okay. You're excited just because of Jenna? Riru says, what if they tame it down like Wednesday? It felt like teen angsty. Oh, I hope they don't do that. I really hope they don't. Yeah, I mean, they still play Beetlejuice all the time on cable, so if you still watch cable, you probably have seen it. Yeah, I think it will definitely do well on streaming, but it seems like not all of you guys think this will be a hit in theaters. Interesting. Honestly, I would be surprised if this flopped. Honestly, I think I would be really, really surprised, but who knows? We'll see. We'll see. I think that will be a hit. Now, what I do think will flop, though, is Transformers 1. Why are we getting another Transformers movie? Oh my god. Why are we getting another Transformers movie? And it's not even connected to the Transformers movie that we just got. It's supposed to be an origin story behind Optimus Prime, and freaking Chris Hemsworth is playing a young Optimus Prime. And also Scarlett Johansson is in it? I'm sorry, but how in the world is Transformers still able to get, like, A-list talent like Chris Hemsworth and Scarlett Johansson when no one wants to see those movies anymore and they all flop and, like, get terrible reviews? I don't understand this. Why are we still making more Transformers movies? Let them be done. This is, out of all of the franchises on this list that I said really needs to be done, this is the number one that I feel like needs to be really, really done. We are done with the Transformers movies. End this nonsense. Anyone gonna see this one? I know, they will never stop making these Transformers movies. Ever. Primal says a young Optimus Prime that should be illegal. How is he a young Optimus Prime? They're machines. They don't age, right? Do they age? Please let me know, Transformers fans. Melody says, they could do to ensure Beetlejuice 2 is a hit is by putting the first Beetlejuice movie in theaters before the release. They'll probably do that, Melody. I would be surprised if they didn't. They really should. They should do the same thing with Twisters as well. Miss Olsen says this movie will flop hard. Oh yeah, I think this movie will bomb. Not just flop, I think this movie will bomb. Hyacinth says, young Transformers? Do they even work like that? That's what I'm asking. How do you play a young Optimus Prime? How, please explain to me how Optimus Prime was ever young? Seriously, how does that work? I thought they just were made like that, Do they grow up? Are there baby Transformers? I'm so confused. Evil Connor says they just get rustier over time, right? Maybe this is just a very clean Optimus Prime. I'm very confused. This is funny to me. But anyway, I think this will be a massive flop because who is asking for another Transformers movie? And now we also have another Saw movie. We're literally on Saw 11 now. Saw 11. Y'all, when we're on literally past 10, when we're trying to name sequels to something, it might be time to stop making sequels. When you need to go past 10, you just know it's time to stop. But apparently not, according to Saw. Saw, they're releasing their 11th movie. Their 11th movie. This is too much. Honestly, I think this will flop. I mean, the budget on this will probably be so low, it'll probably make back its money anyway. But I don't think this will make a huge amount of money. I don't think this is going to get a lot of attention. I don't know, man. Why are they making more Saw movies? An 11th? An 11th? Really? I know, they do need to stop with the Saw movies. It's ridiculous. Jocelyn, you've never seen a Saw movie in your life? The first one is really good. I would just stop with the first one, really. Saw X was really good. I did not see Saw X. Or did I? Actually, maybe I did see Saw X. Was that the last one? Yeah. Maybe I did see that one. It was alright. Oh my god, Janisha says, I'm almost 25 years old and Jigsaw has been out since I was a baby. Let it die already. Right? It's been around for way too long. It's time to let this franchise be over. Now, Joker, Folie à Deux. I think this will be a hit. I don't know if it will make as much as the first one, because the first one made over $1 billion. And this is a musical, and it's not so new anymore, but I still think it'll be a big hit. I still think this can make, over $800 million just because Joker is a popular character. Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn is going to get a lot of attention. I'm really looking forward to this movie. I think this could do really well. I really do. Anyone looking forward to Joker 2, even though it's going to be a musical? Because you guys know that actually makes me more excited, but I know that's not going to be the same way for everyone. Why? It's not even that popular. What? Joker 2. I mean, the first Joker was really popular. Never saw Joker 1. It was too depressing. Martin Schmidt thinks it'll be a hit. Yeah, it'll definitely be a hit. The Blue Gecko Nerd says, I gave up on Transformers after Dark of the Moon. Oh, Dark of the Moon was so bad, man. That was such a bad movie. I feel like Lady Gaga's too old. Well, I think she's younger than Joaquin Phoenix, right? So, I mean, I think she's appropriate for... They basically have aged up these characters a bit. So I think she's appropriate for the part. Interesting comment, Primal. Can't imagine the Joker singing. Well, we're about to see it. It's going to be very interesting. I would love to see Joker singing some jazz tunes, because apparently that's what he's going to do. Miss Olsen, you're just going to see it on streaming. I don't know. I still think this has the potential to be a hit. I just think it'll make less than the first one, but we'll see. Moving on to Smile 2. I've never saw the first Smile, but I know it was a big hit. They had a really clever marketing campaign where they had everyone like go out and smile really creepily to like the audience so people would go viral. That really worked for them because the movie made a lot of money, so I'm not surprised they're doing a sequel. Haven't seen the first, so I can't really say what they're going to do with the sequel, but if they have the same kind of ad campaign, I think Smile 2 could do really well, but who knows. Again, it's going to be made for super cheap, so it can make like $10 million and probably be successful, but I think it'll be a mid-hit. Smile 2 will do all right. Anyone interested in Smile? Yeah, I didn't see Smile either. Never heard of it. Oh, see, most of you guys have not even heard of it. Yeah, it'll do okay. It's not going to do like Gangbusters, but it'll do all right. And then there's Wolfman. I don't know this at all. It's another Universal monster movie, so they are really trying to do this dark universe thing. Do not know if it's going to work out for them. Really do not know. It's going to be star Christopher Abbott as the Wolfman. I don't know anything about this, so we'll see. I honestly just need to see more from the marketing if I can say it's going to be a hit or not. Probably a flop, to be honest. Venom 3. Yeah, I think Venom 3 is going to do the worst out of all the Venom movies just because I think the second Venom movie was a lot worse than the first Venom movie. I thought the second Venom movie was terrible, but I thought the first Venom movie was actually pretty fun. So I think the second Venom movie was so bad, though. I can see a lot of people not showing up for the third one, to be honest. Like, if I didn't have to, like, see this movie to talk about it for my channel, I honestly don't think I'd see Venom 3, even though I really liked the first one, just because I thought the second one was so bad. I think Venom 3 is going to be another flop. But what do you guys think? Martin Schmidt says Venom 3 will make money only if Spider-Man will be in it. I don't think Spider-Man's going to be in it. I hope he's not. I really don't want Spider-Man to be connected to these other Sony films at all. Like, at all. I think this movie's going to flop. Okay, Ted is sick of Venom. All right. Riru says, I saw Venom 1 in theaters. 2 on streaming was meh. May watch the 3rd on streaming. Yeah, not surprised. Jocelyn says, Sony is releasing so many movies they can't be good quality. Well, I mean, we have seen the trailers for Madam Web and Kraven the Hunter. Yeah, I definitely don't think all of these movies are going to be good. Hatsian says, first was great, second was okay, third maybe a flop. Oh yeah, I think the third is most definitely going to flop and probably be the worst received out of the 3. I haven't seen anything from the trailer yet or any marketing, but I have a feeling the third one is going to be the worst one of all, just because that's the trend of things lately. Moving on to the next one, we have The Amateur, starring Rami Malek, who I really like. He hasn't really done like a ton since Bohemian Rhapsody, even though I thought he was really good in that, and he won the Oscar for it. It's going to be based off of a book. It's going to play a CIA cartographer whose wife is killed in a terrorist attack. Interesting. I don't know. I really like Rami Malek, but he is not a huge draw. I don't see this making huge numbers, so I don't know if it's going to be a flop because I don't know the budget, but I don't think it's going to do really well. And then we have Paddington in Peru. I think this is another Paddington movie. Yeah, it's another Paddington movie. I think it's not directed by Paul King anymore, though. Yeah, it's got a new director, though. Dougal Wilson? I don't know. I have no idea if this will be good. I actually haven't seen any of the Paddington movies. I know it's a blind spot. People love those films, but I don't think any of those movies have done, like, super well, but I think this could be a mid-hit. People like them enough that I think it'll be a modest success. Anyone interested in this new Paddington movie? Flop? Okay. I don't know. I think this is another streaming film, unfortunately. Arvin says, I love Paddington, especially since Rachel Zegler is fired from this movie. Was she fired from this movie? I do remember she was attached to it. Oh, yeah. That's right. Rachel Zegler was attached to this movie. Interesting. And then she was let go, or she had to leave because of scheduling conflicts. I would be curious to know if Rachel Zegler was actually fired from this movie, because that'd be fascinating. And also, I haven't heard her getting any new roles lately, so I'm very curious to see if like her career can actually recover here. Ann Styles says, you love Paddington, might be a hit. Okay. Um, Blue Gecko Nerd says Rachel Zegler got fired, but Olivia Colman is in it, so it's a bonus all around in my book. I do like Olivia Colman quite a lot. Moving on to the next one, though. Then we have Gladiator 2. Now, I actually think Gladiator 2 could be a massive hit. I think this is another movie that has room to be a surprise hit, just because it has Pedro Pascal in it, so another major actor, but it also has Denzel Washington in it. So that's cool. It's directed by Ridley Scott, who is hit and miss, but, I mean, he did direct the first one, so hopefully he can make this one good. I think if they make this, like, a big epic with cool visuals, and you've got, like, Pedro Pascal and, like, his cool, like, armor and his sandals and his, his sword, the whole get-up, basically, I think this could be a hit. I really do. I think if this movie is really good, firstly, I think this movie could be a hit. But what do you guys think? Anyone interested in another Gladiator movie? Primal Plasma says, wow, 2024 is going to be worse than 2023 when it comes to movies. I tried to warn you guys. I told you guys straight up at the beginning of the stream that this was a very sad list of movies, and now I think you guys see what I mean. Potato Girl says, I'm interested in Gladiator 2, but I have no idea if it'll be any good. That's true. I mean, I really like some movies that Ridley Scott has done, like The Martian is probably my favorite movie of his. But he does have a lot of bad movies too, so I have no idea. But I do think if it's good, and they really like sell the epicness of it, it could be a movie that really feels like you have to see it on the big screen, which is why I think this movie could potentially do well. Primal says, I'm interested in seeing Titanic too. I mean, at this point, we might as well get a sequel for everything, right? Shoujo Fanatic says, Paddington does well overseas. They will keep making sequels. Well, people really like those movies, so they're going to keep making them as long as people still see them. Martin Schmidt says, depends on the trailer and your review. Oh, well, I'm glad you're looking forward to my review already. Denisha says that Rachel Zegler girl really blackballed herself out of Hollywood. You know what? I think that might be the case, because, like, literally, I don't think she's gotten, like, a single deal to, like, be and star in another movie since that whole ordeal went down. If anything, she's been, quietly fired from a few projects. So she might actually be blackballed. I don't know. But anyway, I think this could be a big hit. Who knows? And then you guys know that I am super excited for Wicked. Super excited for this one. I love Wicked. Love the original musical. I just saw it on Broadway, actually, for a second time last year. Really great show. Really great music. Ariana Grande, home wrecking aside, I think she could obviously sing. And I think she could be a good Glinda, so we'll see. As long as no behind-the-scenes drama overshadows the movie, I actually think this movie could be a hit. And I'm a little nervous because the visuals so far have been really dark. But I have seen that they have filmed a lot of the sequences on, like, real locations and, like, built actual sets. So if they show in the trailer that they actually built Munchkinland and Oz City and, like, these places look really cool and real like they did in Barbie, I feel like Wicked, especially since Wicked is a much more female-leaning property, Wicked could be like the Barbie movie of 2024. That's how I feel Wicked could be. If it's good. It has to be really good. But if it's good, I think this movie could be a really big hit. What do you guys think? Riru says, I like Wicked, so hope they do well. We'll see. Hudson says, why is it called Part 1 when it's a prequel? Doesn't it make it Part 0? Well, they split it into 2 parts. There's going to be a second part that comes out next year. So they took the one play, and then they split it in half. So that's why it's a Part 1. It's probably going to end right where they cut to, like, the intermission in the play. So that's probably where they're cutting it off. Probably right after Defying Gravity. Arvin says, Ariana is dropping an album so good for good year for SpongeBob. I know. It's getting all the attention from this. The Blue Gecko Nerd says, I don't care that much about the Arianators. They'll try their best to cancel anyone that talks bad about Ariana Grande. Honestly, the worst fandom. Arianators are not the worst fandom. That honor goes to Swifties. Nagisa says, never heard of Wicked. Never heard of Wicked? No! It's a good soundtrack. If you like, I don't know, if you like Broadway music, it's a really good soundtrack to listen to. I love that some of you guys are excited. We'll see, maybe. I understand musicals are not for everyone, and this is based on a Broadway show that was, really peaked about 20 years ago. But I still think that there's a lot of fans and a lot of interest in the Wicked story, and it's still a very popular show. It's still running on Broadway today. I think this could do well. We'll see. Wicked was the Hamilton of its time before Hamilton took over. It's how I would explain it. Denisha says, I've never watched the full Broadway show of Wicked. I just play back all of the songs. They're really good. The songs are so good on Wicked that you can play the songs without having seen the show and still feel like you're watching the show in your head because they kind of sing everything. That's why I like the soundtrack so much. But anyway, now to the next one. Sorry. Then we have a Karate Kid movie. I did tell you guys about this one. They're bringing back Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio. So they're combining the two Karate Kid movies that they made, the one with Jaden Smith and the one with drawing a blank, the other kid. So they're bringing the two like Karate Kid movies together in this one. I think that's a little weird, but I don't know, it kind of works. Ralph Macchio, that's what I was trying to say. Kind of works, I don't know. I guess they're trying to cut Jaden Smith out of the movie. I don't know if he's going to be in this one. Would be interested to see if he shows up. Kind of curious to see how this does. This could play well with nostalgia for like older generations, but then there's also the Netflix show that is doing really well with like younger generations too. So I actually think this movie has a surprise, like a big chance of being another surprise hit. What do you guys think about the Karate Kid movie? Will French, a Karate Kid movie, seriously? I feel like I'm over here, like, I think this movie could do pretty well, and you guys are just like, oh my god, another sequel? Are they really making that? I get it. Trust me, I get it. Totally get it. Oh no, you guys think this will flop? Why do you guys think this will flop? Oh, interesting. CD Wood says, no, not this again. Why do they keep bringing back old stuff? Because they are afraid you don't want to watch new stuff. That's why. David Godoy says, maybe it will be karate versus kung fu? Maybe? I don't know. If they bring back Jaden Smith, that's fine. Just keep Will out of it. Marla the Big Taurus says they should stick to Cobra Kai and include Johnny. I don't know. Are they going to include any of the Cobra Kai storyline? I feel like they should. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with this movie. But I think at this point, Karate Kid it's done well enough to keep itself relevant, even in the modern era, because of Cobra Kai. So I actually think this movie could do well. So I think this will be a mid-hit to even a surprise massive hit. But we'll see. Getting to the next one. And then we have a Lord of the Rings movie. And it's an animated movie. It's called The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. I am not a Lord of the Rings fan. I'm so sorry. I don't know the lore behind it well at all. All I know is that this is going to be an animated movie. I don't really know like the story is, but it's going to take place in the world of Middle-earth and Lord of the Rings and all of that. So if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, you're getting a new Lord of the Rings movie this year. Do you guys care that it's animated? Are you still going to see it? Are you excited? Or are you just upset that there's going to be yet another Lord of the Rings movie? And no, this is not tied to the Amazon Prime show at all. This is a completely separate thing. Yep, an animated Lord of the Rings movie. That's what you're getting. It is interesting. I actually like that they're experimenting with animation instead of live action, to be honest. The animated part is actually what gets me interested. I just don't care about Lord of the Rings. I know these names are very long. Ryu, you will watch this? Really? In theaters? Potato Girl says, this is a project I'm curious for, especially because it's animated. Yeah, the fact that this is animated actually is what gets me interested. I just don't know if we need this movie. But I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan, so I'm just not the target audience for this. Fourth Earling. I don't know, Michael. I don't know what you're talking about. Angel Barra says the last Lord of the Rings thing was the horrible video game about Gollum. Oh no, I didn't even know there was a video game. Interesting. Hopefully it's better than that though. And then we have Mufasa. Freaking Mufasa. You guys know I want this to bomb so hard because I hate the original live action Lion King that just came out like in 2019. Hate that movie. I hate how they tried to make it look so realistic that they took all the emotion out of the animals' faces and performances. It wasn't even really live action. It's just, that entire movie is just like an impressive visual effects demo reel. It's not really a movie that cares about emotion or story. And I hate that movie because the Lion King, like the animated, like truly animated Lion King, that movie is great. That movie deserves to be in the conversation of like one of the best animated films ever. And then they came out with that monstrosity in 2019 with that live action little Lion King movie that I can't believe actually managed to be a hit. The only reason that movie was a hit is because people really love the original Lion King so much. Because I do not believe for a second that people really liked that live action Lion King movie enough that they kept wanting to go see it or whatever. That's why it made that much money. I refuse to believe people actually saw that movie and liked it. Okay? But because that movie made so much money, they're doing a spin-off on Mufasa. Not Mufasa from the original animated from 1994 or 1990, whatever it was. But a spin-off about the Mufasa that was in the live-action Lion King movie from 2019. That's what this movie is. And I want it to flop so bad. I want Disney to learn its lesson to never make movies like this again. This is like the only movie on this list where I'm like actively rooting against it. Like straight up, I want this movie to flop. I'm sorry, I just do. And I think it could. I think out of all the movies on this list so far, I think this movie has the potential to lose the most money because I know it's going to be really expensive. Like this movie's probably going to cost like at least $300 million just because it's all CGI. And it's probably going to make probably $300 million worldwide total. So I think this movie's going to be a really massive flop. But that's at least my prediction and my kind of hope. So we'll see. Anyone actually interested in this movie? There's a reason they put it in December. No, they put it in December because December movies actually tend to do really well. They want this movie to do well. They expect this movie to do well. I just don't think it will. Arvid, you understand I hate this movie a lot. So you guys know I get heated. You guys know. Will French says, yes, what we asked for, a live-action prequel. I know, it's so dumb. This is literally a prequel of a remake to a movie that came out in the 90s. That's what this is. And that's why I want it to flop. I just couldn't. I do know Beyonce was in that movie. I do know, and you guys know I like Beyonce. But Beyonce was not enough to save that movie for me. I'm sorry. But anyway, moving on to the next one. Then we have Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I actually think this will be a hit just because fans like these movies, and I think fans really like the last one. So I actually think this one could actually do really, really well, especially since video game movies are doing better and better. So I think this will be a hit for sure. And then the last one was Nosferatu, which is a Robert Eggers film. Very curious to see. He's the same guy that did The Lighthouse and The Northman. So it's going to be very freaking weird. You know that for sure. No idea if this is going to be a hit. Probably not, because I don't think he's a director that can make mainstream movies. So it's probably not going to be a major hit. Probably going to be a flop. But definitely going to be interesting to talk about for sure. I think this is going to be like one of those movies that get talked about a lot within like film Twitter circles, but then like no one actually sees in real life. I think that's what this movie is going to be. Anyone interested in Nosferatu? Seems like you guys agree that Sonic 3 will be a hit. Yes. Primal says you might see Nosferatu. Interesting. Jocelyn says, I will laugh so hard if Sonic 3 beats Mufasa in the box office. I actually think Sonic 3 has a real chance at beating Mufasa. When did they come out? So Sonic 3 comes out December 20th. Oh my god, they come out on the same day. I didn't even notice that. Oh my god. These movies come out on the same day. Wow. Watch Sonic absolutely beat Mufasa's butt, which I think is definitely going to happen. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's going to be really embarrassing for Disney when Sonic beats it. Because I think Sonic will definitely beat it. Wow. Mufasa should move, honestly. Mufasa should move before they get embarrassed, but we'll see. We'll see. I did not even notice that. Oh boy. Oh boy, that's going to be interesting. Anyway. Oh yeah, and apparently there's a Jordan Peele film that might come out next year, although I think that was just taken off the list, so I don't think that's coming out. I think the Nosferatu is pretty much the last one. But anyway, that's the list. These are all the biggest releases. There are some smaller indie releases that I didn't go over. Someone did mention Civil War, which is the movie coming out from A24. Oh man, that Civil War movie. First of all, why is California and Texas teaming up? That makes no sense. I will definitely see Civil War. Will it do well? I don't know. I feel like real life will probably feel too much like Civil War to want to see a movie on it, but we'll see. It really depends on how crazy 2024 gets, to be honest. But anyway, any other thoughts on what do you think of 2024 as a whole now that we've gone through all the major releases? Do you think this will be a good year for movies, or do you think, like me, this looks like a pretty bad year for movies? Be honest, though. What do you guys think? I'm so sorry if you can hear all the stuff going on in the background. I can't control it. There's my neighbors playing music so loudly. I hope you guys can't hear that. Potato Girl says Civil War is on streaming. Yeah, I'll definitely watch Civil War. Actually, I might watch Civil War in theaters just because I'm very curious about it. Not really interested in anything hidden name. Oh no. No. Bad year, yeah. Seems like most people are thinking this is going to be a bad year. Yeah. Either meh or middly good, says Hyacinth. Okay. Okay, Tit thinks this is going to be a dad year. Interesting. And Styles says, I'm going to watch Kung Fu Panda 4 and Sonic 3. Those are the only 2 movies out of the entire list? Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. It's SpongeBob and Nosferatu. He should have a cameo. He definitely should. But anyway, I'm going to get to my member question now. Because I did ask my members what movies you guys were looking forward to. So I'm curious to see which movies you guys put. As always, if you want to be a member, just press the join button at the bottom of the screen. It really does help support the channel. It really means a lot to me. So thank you. So Martin Loves Tennis says, hey Brittany, definitely Dune 2. I've just saw a trailer in IMAX and it looks epic. Even my friends who weren't fans were saying the trailer looks amazing. It really does. That's a great trailer. Second one is Joker 2. I hope we will finally see the best of Joker and Harley chemistry. You know, we have never actually seen Joker and Harley together as a couple, at least not in a movie. I know in the comics that happens all the time. I'm not talking about the comics. I'm talking about the movies. We have never actually seen Joker and Harley together. They've always been separated. So I'm curious to see how they portray their relationship on screen for the first time. At least the first time I've seen it. Maybe I'm not thinking of something, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time. I'm very curious to see how they portray that relationship. Super, super excited for Joker 2. Alden Gordon says, Happy New Year, everyone. The movie I'm most excited for this year is Inside Out 2. I love the first one, and I can't wait to see what they do with the new emotions. By the way, sadness is my favorite. Sadness has always been my favorite. Something that, when I was working at Epcot, working with Sadness, she was great because she would always be crying. And, like, as a character attendant, it's your job to, like, kind of do charades with your performers. So Sadness would always be, like, crying or having a tantrum or something, and I'd have to explain to the people, like, why Sadness is upset. It was really fun. Sadness is great. Rhea Rue, thank you so much for being a member, says, Happy New Year! I am looking forward to Dune 2, and I'm not sure what else. I'm tired of sequels, and most titles are on the 3rd, 4th, or 5th installments, or 11th. 2024 seems like another wait till streaming kind of year for me. I know! As we were going through this list, Rhea, you were just like, I'll see it on streaming. Streaming. Was there, seriously, Rhea, I want to know in the chat, was there a single movie that you actually felt like you had to see in theaters? A single one. I want to know what it is. But getting back to this, RuPaul's Drag Race Superfan says, hey, Brittany, and Happy New Year. Can we believe it has been 10 years since 2014? No, I can't. That's crazy. Anyway, my top 3 movies I can't wait for is number 1, Wicked. I mean, my girl Ariana Grande is in it. She is coming for 2024. With this and her new album as an Arianator, we will be fed. Also, I think Wicked will be a surprise and make $1 billion since Ariana is coming out with a new album this year. So I think that will really boast it. And also with Anthony being from Bridgerton, a Bridgerton actor, it will also make it really successful with a new season coming out this year. Also, people are going to see the movie to see the scenes with Ariana and her boyfriend to see what their chemistry was. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think Wicked could be huge. Like I said, I think Wicked could be this year's Barbie if they play their cards right and the movie is actually really good. And they market it well. And of course, Ariana's home wrecking doesn't overshadow the movie. I really like Ariana. I think her music is great. I'm very curious to see her acting because the only acting I've seen from her is, from Victorious. So I hope she's a lot better than that. But vocals-wise, I know she's got the part down. Rhea says, maybe Wicked as well. I loved the play. Oh! Rhea, you answered me. You said you will see Dune, just Dune, and maybe Wicked. Those are the only 2 movies you'll see in theaters? Dang. All right. Well, I mean, those are 2 of my most anticipated movies, so I get it. And then 2, Inside Out 2. I love the first one so much. As I grew up, it had deeper meaning to me. Also, I love it. It's coming out 5 days before my 20th birthday. Aw. 20th birthday, that's a good birthday. Yeah, the first one is really good. That's a movie that I actually loved more over time. And the more times I watched it, I loved it each time more and more. It's a really great movie. Deadpool 3, never watched one before, but can't wait. Also, I've decided that I'll watch every Wolverine and Deadpool movie this year so I can understand. Wait, you're going to watch every Wolverine and Deadpool movie this year just to understand Deadpool 3? I mean, more power to you, that's cool, but I'm also curious. Again, that's why I think Deadpool 3 is not a guaranteed success. Because you do have to see all the Wolverine and X-Men movies and the Deadpool movies to understand that film. So there's quite a lot of homework you have to do to even watch that movie. Tet says, will Dune 2 be full of desert shots again? Well, I'm sure that it will. I just, maybe there'll be some action in the desert scenes. I don't know. Getting back to this. Where was I? Okay, thanks. That's it. Thank you, Brittany, so much for your hard work and your dedication to this space. Also, it is almost my 1-year anniversary of finding your channel. Oh my gosh. You've been watching for almost a year? Thank you so much for your support for that long. I really appreciate it. Alexander Padilla. Hey, Brittany, and Happy New Year. Here is my list of most anticipated movies. So you're excited for Dune? Yes. Challengers? Yes. See, you're a big Zendaya fan. The Ministry of Urgent... Oh, what the heck is this? The Ministry of Urgently Manly Warfare. Okay. Has Henry Cavill and Isa Gonzalez in it. Never heard of this movie. Then Mickey 17, which I'm also looking forward to. Your Monster, with Melissa Barrera, and the Untitled Monster movie. Oh, that's the same one. But yeah. These are good movies. These are good movies. Sorry. See, when you have to talk for 2 hours straight, man, it gets difficult. But no, I think this is a good list. I have no idea what this one movie is, though. No idea what this is, but I like that you're more up to date on movies that are coming out than even I am, because I'm the one that's telling you guys about movies all the time. Rhea Lynn, thank you so much for being a member, says, for me, Dune 2 for sure, and honestly, I'm curious to see Kung Fu Panda 4 when it turns out. I think Kung Fu Panda will do really well. I think it'll Honestly, I think it'll probably do close to what even Despicable Me does, just because I think the nostalgia for it will be strong. But I could be wrong, but I think that movie will do really well. Aster Flowers says, I would have to say Inside Out 2. Inside Out was my favorite movie when I was 15, so I feel nostalgic. I actually think Inside Out 2 has a slim chance. I know I said it won't make more than Deadpool, but it'll probably make more profit. There is still, I think, a slim chance that maybe Inside Out 2 could make more in revenue than Deadpool as well. Which would be crazy. But I actually think there is a chance. Just because I think Inside Out 2 could be that big. But we'll see. What else? John Mua says, Shogun and Rings of Power. The former for, well, obvious reasons. The latter because the show is a train wreck I have to keep watching. Is Rings of Power coming back this year? I thought that show wasn't coming back until, like, next year. But yeah, Rings of Power, that was a train wreck of a show, man. They spent $1 billion and basically lit that money on fire. That was an embarrassing show all around. Rachel Reed's Romance, thank you so much for being a member. Inside Out 2 and Dune 2. I like that pretty much you guys are in consensus that those two movies are, like, some of the best coming out. Because Antonio also agrees you're looking forward to Inside Out 2 and Kung Fu Panda 4. Yeah. I actually think animation could do really well next year. Also, if you add in Garfield, like if that does well, animation could actually do super, super well next year. Nicholas Wilson, thank you so much for being a member. You said the bad movies on 2023 has left me a little cautious, but they have to be balanced by the fact that the good films this year have been absolute crackers. I'm highly amused that 2003 anime Cowboy Bebop the movie is getting a release this year. We will have to see how things look closer to the other releases, not assuming everything will be bad, just being cautious. Oh, I'm so sorry, Nicholas, that you feel like you have to be super cautious about all of these movies because you don't think they'll be good. I think hopefully at least we'll get a few good movies. I hope they're not all terrible. Like, if Dune 2 is terrible, if Wicked is terrible, if Inside Out 2 is terrible, I will be so disappointed and, might just, lose my faith in Hollywood entirely. But I haven't lost my faith yet. I still think there are going to be some good movies this year, so I have my fingers crossed. But thank you, everyone, for being a member. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It really does make a difference. All right, so that's actually the end of it. This was a long show. Oh my gosh, this show was 2 hours long. So I'm actually going to end it now so it doesn't go over 2 hours. Thank you everyone for showing up to my 2024 preview. This was really fun. We have a lot of great movies to look forward to this year. A lot of fun stuff to talk about this year. So make sure you subscribe if you're not. I will see you guys on Wednesday for our next live stream at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll see you then. Bye.